not to love the movie because you guys are so beautiful to watch that I was just like...
Well, hello.
I was just like...
Everyone gains 10 points next to her. You go out. No, that's all you get today, though. That's it.
I know, I can't believe
That's it.
Like,
No,
camera
just that.
compliments
Yeah,
off
no.
camera,
Yeah.
not so nice.
No, never.
Blake Lively's reputation has grown in Hollywood for herself, not only for her acting, yet many people think that a tendency to establish connections with. Over the years, her co-stars include. There has been conjecture that anytime Blake is employed for a motion picture, there is a strong likelihood that a love relationship will adhere to this persistent trend has increased. Queries, particularly from actresses who find themselves closely observing whenever their companions are cast next to her, but Blake has never directly addressed these allegations. Dating history makes it challenging to disregard.
Leonardo DiCaprio have called it quits.
Kelly Blance, 2004 through 2007. Kelly Blance was the first boyfriend of the actress. They were friends in childhood, and later their friendship turned into a 3-year-long romance.
Prior to Blake's fame, she was in a friendship they shared with Kelly Blance, met while attending Burbank as students. In high school, they had been pals for years before they made the decision to begin dates during that period in 2004. Blake continued to make her way inside the entertainment sector and had not yet become well-known due of. This kept their romance quiet, and they managed to go on dates without lots of media attention.
Go out right now and try these on. Look, put them on. Go. Ta-da! Tibby, you're a babe! Tibby, you look great!
Within the year 2005, Blake's career took a significant turn forward after she was cast in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is the film. The movie gained popularity among young people. Blake's performance and the audience both aided her obtain notoriety, despite the fact that she was not yet well known. She wasn't no longer only another would-be actress. She growing notoriety also meant that more individuals grew interested in her private life. Even though she and Kelly were able to maintain their friendship primarily because of the attention for a while due to their romance, appeared stable and they kept dating. As Blake's career progressed, advancements around this time, Kelly was pursue an acting career as well, but he did not go through as much of success. He made appearances in a number of little parts in television series and films, but none of them brought him the same level of fame as Blake. Although there isn't a verified explanation for the timing of their breakup, increased a few inquiries.
Hey 17, my name is Kelly Blatz. I'm from the new Disney XD show Aaron Stone, which is premiering this Friday, February 13th. So check it out, I hope you like it.
In the year 2007, Blake's life took a dramatic turn when she played Serena Vanderwoodson in the film. The program Gossip Girl swiftly rose to enormous hit, making her one of the most discussed young actresses in Hollywood around the same period as her connection with Kelly came to an end. Some individuals question if her growing fame had contributed to the breakup, which is uncertain whether the demands of her new career put stress on them, connection, or if they just developed separate, regardless of the cause of their romance ended, and from that point on, their lives progressed in somewhat different ways. Routes.
You blew off our most beloved tradition. Just get over it, Blair. Girl.
Be combined.
I always kind of wish it would.
Or who's known more for her mugshot.
We have fun tonight. These are probably the last people in New York who still think you matter.
In contrast to Blake, Kelly's failed to make progress in his. He kept up his acting career by appearing in television series and films, although none of his roles made him famous. Throughout the years, he stayed largely out of the public glare as Blake proceeded to become among the most well-known Hollywood actresses in the same year. Blake started dating someone else today, spending time with her co-star Penn Badgley on the show they performed The Gossip Girl. Dan Humphrey and Serena Vanderwoodson, two persons that are in a romantic relationship, become a significant plot point in there. Strong on-screen chemistry made it. Not surprisingly, they developed genuine affections for one another. Existence.
Well, there's Miss Vanderwoodson now. Serena.
No. What are you doing?
Hey, do you know this young man?
She doesn't know me. Nobody knows me. It's cool. It's fine.
From last night, right? I'm sorry about that.
You remember me?
Penn and Blake began dating in the same year, 2007. The first year the show debuted, they were cautious to maintain their bond. Private, they were concerned that dating could cause issues at work and feared that the show's producers would not consent as a result of this. Avoided talking about their relationship in public and made an effort to maintain their privacy. Lifestyles apart from their occupations in spite of their attempts to maintain silence, fans rapidly became aware of their intimacy and their connection became the subject of interest in Blake and Penn over time. Discovered that their worries regarding their Blake later said that bosses weren't essential. Acknowledged that the show's producers supported their partnership from a considering the actors from a marketing standpoint behind a well-liked on-screen romance, and the show was made more realistic by real life, appealing to the audience it produced enthusiasm and provided the audience with something more to discuss.
The drugs, the alcohol, the sex, I think they tend to lead the most shattered family lives. You know, you see the repercussions of it at such a young age. You know, and I mean, teenagers are teenagers. I think there's an element of it that's very realistic, you know. I mean, it is a heightened reality, obviously, because it's television, but they did get it from somewhere.
And the family that's got it the most together is his family, and they don't really participate in any of that. They have very open communication, and it's...
They continued to be a couple while playing love. Fascination with Gossip Girl despite their... As their friendship grew, they stayed expert on set, making sure that their real-life romance didn't get in the way of their efforts. Yet, by 2010, since things had changed, they chose to terminate their partnership, even though they maintained their split as discreetly as possible. Maintain their romance, as they actually dealt with the circumstances so effectively that even some of the actors and crew did not recognize the precise reason they had parted ways, since their split was never officially announced. However, there were some potential explanations by the end of their items they were both investigating in new possibilities outside of the performance with their increasingly busy schedules. Perhaps they're expanding. It was challenging to keep careers. There were also rumors about the relationship, that their opinions differed about the Blake had mentioned her wish in the future to eventually have a large family, while Penn appeared more intent on constructing his profession at the moment, regardless of the reason why their split did not appear to impact their Gossip Girl work. They kept acting out their parts as though nothing was different, indicating that they were experts who refused to allow personal issues impede their occupations, despite the fact that their relationship did not. Finally, it continued to be one of the most discussed regarding the show's romances history, but the most startling, their relationship revealed when Blake acknowledged in a conversation that, at first, she had been dissatisfied with. She disclosed that Penn's casting had attempted to turn everyone in the cast against him prior to discovering he was a kind person. During the interview, she and Penn had been together for 2 years, which further prompted her admission. Surprisingly, many people thought that Penn would have been incensed after listening to her state that so openly discussing the specifics of their split were never completely revealed. However, speculation suggested that they were different objectives, but Blake had stated a wish to become a parent and settle down. Penn appeared more intent in constructing his career, and their rigorous work schedules also had a part in their separation. Until they finally parted ways in 2010, they kept their relationship so secret that even their co-workers on the show didn't know for a long period, roughly at the same time that Blake and Penn broke up. Ben Affleck was included in the discussion in 2010. Blake was cast a murder thriller in the town where Ben not only took center stage, but additionally functioned as the film's director during. They collaborated and individuals began observing their exchanges, and quickly, there were rumors that something was occurring between.
Oftentimes felt like I was, doing on the fly and making up as we went along, and that was what I was really scared.
Ben candidly, frequently complimented Blake's acting abilities, praising her performance in. He characterized her in interviews as a gifted performer and even stated that the movie's popularity was largely dependent on her position, but it wasn't solely his appreciation for her skill that attracted. Some of his remarks caught people's notice. Blake's actions went beyond what was considered professional praise, calling her fantastic, and referred to her as a stunning young lady, creating rumors that he perceived her as not merely a co-star.
Sort of didn't understand.
Blake, yes, is not 40. Blake is 21 or whatever she is, 22. She's a fabulous, as you can see, she's a gorgeous young woman. She was in The Town with me.
And it's such a great movie. I love that
Thank
movie.
you very much. And she was fabulous. Yeah. She wanted to do research, and she was coming off her television Gossip Girl, so she was driving down at nights and back and forth and really stretching it to get her research done. And I was driving around the city. Here's the neighborhood, here's the people. She hung out with the various.
In addition to Ben's discussion about. Additionally, her people observed their dynamic. Their discussions during interviews possessed a fun, light spirit that some perceived as flirty admirers, and news outlets started to question whether there was solely a business connection or if there was additional activity, the subject of their age behind the scenes. Additionally, the difference was incorporated into the talk. Blake was in her early 20s when Ben was around 20 years old. Even older Ben made a remark about this in one interview, acknowledging that recognizing the amount of younger Blake had led to an existential crisis for him. Some interpreted this statement as evidence that he had given careful thought to the character of their partnership.
Exciting to see, somebody who's known for being an actor step into the role of a director and have such a strong command of his set and help us in these performances that were such a big challenge.
Despite the fact that there was never any strong evidence that anything improper occurred between them, the rumors kept disseminating the dates of their. Questions were raised by the developing link, particularly after Blake's split from Penn had just been made aware of the rumors. Only became more intense when some sources implied that Blake's participation in Ben might have contributed in the end of her bond with Penn in spite of all the rumors that neither Blake nor Ben never verified or refuted anything other than their collaborative relationship. While the Town gave a terrific performance and Blake's acting obtained favorable evaluations for the whispers concerning her and Ben stayed a portion of the movie's backstage tales, regardless of the rumors. This was another. For example, Blake's name became connected to a co-star carrying on a trend. It would be repeatedly observed once more during her career.
0.043 inches. Weight, about 1 gram, which is interesting because that means that this $20 bill isn't even worth its own weight in oxy.
If Ben Affleck had been a dubious character in Blake's past relationships, even more, Leonardo DiCaprio was interesting in contrast to her previous partnerships. It frequently started with her connection on set. Leo was unique. The two never collaborated on a big-budget movie, but their relationship in 2011 was still going strong. Became among the most discussed. A portion of Blake's affection. Existence.
Blake Lively and Leonardo DiCaprio walked hand in hand during their recent trip to Verona, Italy. The new couple has already returned to the States, but new video from their excursion to Italy last week shows them all cozied up.
Blake as well as Leo and I were together for just 5 months, but the two were anything but low-key. Often spotted together on their way to opulent locations and going to high-profile occasions. They were photographed by paparazzi while on vacation in cruising Europe on private yachts and investigating stunning places there. There was a carefree sparkle to romance, which made it a popular topic for entertainment news and gossip magazines.
South of France. I got a little apartment by myself in this little village, and I love the cuisine, I love the culture, I love the fashion, I love everything French.
Blake Lively didn't name names, but during an appearance on Live with Regis and Kelly this morning, the Gossip Girl star gushed about her recent trip to France, where she and Leonardo DiCaprio spent a ton of time sightseeing and heating up their romance.
Some thought Blake had sought Leo with a specific objective in mind. Throughout the period when they were dating, she was under consideration for the position of a character in The Great Gatsby, Daisy Buchanan. Leo portrayed the male protagonist in the movie. Rumors soon circulated that she was attempting to take advantage of their relationship to increase the likelihood that she will land the role, although sources near the circumstance refuted these assertions, insisting that she had previously tried out and failed Carey Mulligan's role before she and Leo ever got engaged anyhow. Of what genuinely united them, their partnership appeared to be a. Leo was famous for his dating patterns. Younger ladies, especially those in. Blake was 23 years old, and they were in their early 20s. It firmly positioned her within the age spectrum of numerous previous girlfriends. For others, their time together was simply another chapter in Leo's extensive history of brief romantic relationships, but others believed Blake was not like his typical kind. In spite of all the enthusiasm regarding their connection, it didn't endure till the end of the year. 2011 saw the two discreetly part ways. Individual methods, there was no public justification for their split, no catastrophic fallout with no aftereffects. Tension between them, they just shifted on, with Leo carrying on his current trend of dating models, and Blake quickly discovers herself in a different well-known romance.
I'm Carly Bolness. Blake Lively and Leonardo DiCaprio have called it quits. Take a look back at their global adventures in today's Pop Sugar Rush. Blake Lively and Leonardo DiCaprio's summer romance is over. Both of their reps have confirmed the split, but also made sure to say that the two remain friends.
Despite the fact that their time together was short, but it had an effect on. This was one of the rare occasions where Blake was connected to a well-known Hollywood celebrity without the use of a movie set in. For Leo, their relationship was another addition to his lengthy list of well-known ex-partners. Although the partnership itself can have faded rapidly, but it was still an interesting and unforeseen circumstance in each of them. Dating histories, another romance that year, was subtly developing in Blake's life. As Green Lantern was being worked on she first met Ryan Reynolds in 2010. Each of them had already entered significant partnerships Blake was still in. Ryan and Badgley, who were dating, were married. In light of Scarlett Johansson's, their exchanges stayed strictly amiable, but even in those early days, those who dealt with them were aware of, because they had a simple and organic chemistry.
Right. Well, I mean, you know, these movies, everything is done pretty carefully in terms of casting and all that stuff. And, you know, we actually got a chance to kind of read together a little bit before we were trying to figure out who's playing what and all that stuff. And we just had chemistry, and chemistry really, genuinely, is one of the few things in film that you can't just invent and create inside an era of film. So it was fantastic working with Blake. She just brought every part of herself, and she's not kidding when she says you get off set at 1 in the morning and she'd be back over in New Orleans shooting at 6 a.m. and not a single complaint. In fact, sometimes she'd just come on set having just baked a mysteriously and curiously a batch of brownies. It's like, so no sleep at all tonight? Nope. Had to cook these brownies for you who can't eat, Ryan. And you've seen the soup? So, yeah. So, but it was incredible.
Yeah, the same for me. It's
For a time, their relationship did not surpass friendship. They proceeded with their individual connections, and there was no evidence that anything romantic was occurring between them. But by autumn of the year, things started to change for both of them. In 2011, had broken up with their past partners, and a fresh chance for romance had silently began their journey in the direction of. The journey of becoming a couple took an unexpected turn. They went on a double date at one time, but not. Rather than with one another, they were each partnered with other individuals, but that something became very evident to them at night. Ryan subsequently acknowledged that being in the same room while on separate dates with people helped them see how powerful they had feelings for one another, seemed to be viewing each other in that. Everything fell into place because of the setting.
Romantic between you and Ryan.
Oh my goodness. I think we're both pretty romantic. Yeah, we're pretty romantic people. I think you have to like believe in romance. Like it is because you say it is, right?
Yeah.
We both love love. So yeah, I don't know. I've never associated better with someone than Baz Luhrmann, who just like everything is like love and fireworks and romance. And my husband is the only man I've ever known who sees life that way. So,
Oh, that's great.
All right.
After that insight, their relationship progressed swiftly. They started hanging out more, and it didn't take long for the general began to notice they were photographed by paparazzi on excursions, and gossip regarding their romance spread quickly. In contrast to some of Blake's past partnerships, including this one, felt different from other Hollywood. Their relationship appeared more profound, and it was evident that this was more than just a fleeting interest, despite the fact that they had both have appeared in other high-profiles partnerships prior to anything concerning. Their relationship felt distinct from personalities were well-balanced, with Ryan's sense of humor enhancing Blake's charm that others acquainted with them talked about how content and at ease they appeared. Collectively, it seemed from the outside as even though they had discovered something real.
Blake together, this way please, right here.
That unexpected double date has altered everything, requiring a brief, observing one another from a distance, viewpoint to help them comprehend what, having remained there during their relationship that had begun as little more than a cordial relationship on a film set, had subtly transformed into, despite the fact that they have denied that any overlap existed between the ties that people have long conjectured that Ryan and Blake would have previously begun dating. Given that Ryan's divorce was finalized, Blake's past infatuation with co-stars, many people thought it was suspicious, but Ryan and Blake insisted that nothing unsuitable occurred, leaping straight to Blake's latest endeavor concludes with a recurring pattern seems to be appearing once more. This time the co-star who was the subject of conjecture was Justin Baldoni. As they were constructing the record private text messages together, sparks were leaked between them. Discussions regarding the characteristics of their relationship. The messages showed a intimacy that some people thought was strange. Their discussions were not limited to employment or informal subjects. Instead, they had a Blake's flirtatious and intensely sentimental tone frequently told Justin about her difficulties, revealing themselves to him in ways that appeared personal. In one specific message, captured people's interest. She said that she had never had any emotions, intellect in a man prior to the manner in which she mentioned him, and implied that she saw anything unique about him, something she was more deeply attracted to.